Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys a little stick welding drill that I just recently started doing, and I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So I'll bring you in for a little bit of a closer look. Alright, so as you might have seen in the introduction, I was welding left-handed, and if you pay any attention at all to any of my videos, you'll know that I am a right-handed person. Normally, I can't do anything with my left hand. My writing looks like a first grader's or a kindergartner's. You know, just anything I do with my left hand is significantly worse than my right hand, including my welding. So why am I doing this? Well, it's good to practice with your non-dominant hand just in case you gotta bend up underneath something to weld with it. Sometimes it's just easier to get up underneath something or up in something with your non-dominant hand than it is with your dominant hand. So, how do you do this? How might you practice this? Because that's kind of what this video is all about. All you need to do is a simple pad of beads. Just get a piece of material that you don't care about, that's a piece of scrap. Like what I've got here, this is just a piece of homemade C-channel, C-iron, whatever you want to call it, that I made out of 2 pieces of angle. And I'm just welding the inside here, the fillet joint. Now the way you probably should start this is just patting beads on a flat surface. You don't want to, do anything critical, and you definitely want to get the hang of running beads on a flat surface with your non-dominant hand before you get started on doing any out of position work. But essentially what I've been doing now, there's more than one way to skin a cat here. I've been running one bead as I would right-handed, so with my dominant hand, and then just chucking up a rod and switching directions and going at it with my left hand, and I'm going to fill out hopefully this entire joint at some point, just doing that repeatedly, just switching hands every time I burn a rod. Like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can weld the entire thing out with your non-dominant hand if you want to, but without further ado, I'll stop talking and we can just get right into some of the welds. So the first weld I'm putting down is one with my right hand. I guess you could call it a control weld. Just something to match up the left-handed weld with and kind of give it something to compare it to. Now this is going in pretty well. This is how I am most comfortable stick welding. Usually I try and prop with my elbow or a pinky, or sometimes I just rest my right hand inside of my left hand. But either way, I usually always hold the stinger in my right hand because that is what I am most comfortable with, and this weld was going in just fine. Now here's the finished product. It looks pretty good, in my opinion. I know there are better stick welders out there than me, and I still have a lot to learn about welding, but I think this is a pretty acceptable weld. Might be a tad bit cold, but nothing wrong with it. Nothing went too wrong while I was running it either. I was keeping proper arc length, rod angle, travel speed. I was feeding it in properly, because I'm comfortable. That kind of changes when I switch to left hand, and that'll change when you switch to your dominant hand too. If you haven't done a lot of work and you're not ambidextrous, by default, the quality of your welds are going to change, and probably not for the better. Now, I think I can put down a fairly decent weld after doing this little bit of practice with my left hand, but I still wouldn't weld anything with my left hand yet. I still need to put in practice to make it just as good, if not better, as my right hand. Now, this weld here that I'm putting in with my left hand was giving me all kinds of trouble. I was having trouble keeping the slag pushed back, I was having trouble keeping the proper arc length, proper rod angle, I was having a little bit of trouble feeding, and that's because I'm not used to welding with my left hand. And that's the point of this drill, to get you comfortable welding with both hands, being ambidextrous in your stick welding. Now here's the finished weld. It's not the greatest, and the one in the arc shot came out even worse. The one in the arc shot, I was just trying to kind of get around the camera and get a good angle for that. But on both, I was kind of fighting the slag a little bit. It really wanted to creep up on me, and that's because of my rod angle. I also don't think my machine is quite hot enough to keep it all the way pushed back. That, or it's the arc force of my machine. It's not quite where it should be to keep all of the slag pushed back. But this is still an okay weld. Not something I would really trust to keep holding. I know it looks alright, but I'd still rather weld something with my right hand at this point than my left. And hopefully that's going to change soon after doing this exercise repeatedly. That's going to be it from me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like. And if you want to see more content like this from me, please consider subscribing. Anyways, that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys next week.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now.